I am what it says right here on my screen. Hey everybody, it is Thursday, June 25th, 5, is it 5:02? 5:03 p.m. Pacific time here on the Southern Gulf Islands. Current temperature is 23 degrees Celsius, 60% humidity. So I just finished watering the garden and fertilizing a few things and doing what I had to do. And I figured, you know what? I think I'm going to get on here and just do a little quick live stream. But my quick live streams probably turn out to be about an hour or so. But hopefully this one won't be that long. Next Friday is the first Friday of the month. Not this Friday, the next Friday. And I will do a live stream. Next Wednesday is Canada Day. And it's kind of a weird day for Canada Day in the middle of the week. So I'm going to work Monday, Tuesday, and get Wednesday off, and then back to the grind on Thursday. So I hope everybody out there has been having a good week. I don't mind Thursdays because tomorrow's Friday, and then I get the weekend off. Saturday, I actually have to drive to the most farthest reaches of our island, and I haven't been out to that area for at least 7 years now. I think the last time I was there was probably about 2013 or 2014, something like that. Somebody wants me to carve them a tiki. They've been asking me for a while now, and it's over an hour to drive there from where we live on the very north end of the island. So I have to get to the south end, and then I have to drive down like Musgrave Road, which is a very long road to Musgrave Landing, and there's a little community at the end of that gravel road, and it goes up over the mountain. There's a lake up on top, and then you descend down and end up at the ocean on the farthest southwest corner of Salt Spring Island. The people that live there, I think, actually do their shopping on Vancouver Island, on the Big Island, because it's actually closer, well, way closer than coming to Ganges, our village, by car. So they have boats, and then they take their boats over there and they do their shopping. So hope everybody's having nice toasty weather. It is absolutely perfect here. I didn't really like it yesterday. The humidity was up higher and could really feel it. It was kind of tacky. And we were really complaining about that at work yesterday. I do not like the feeling of being tacky with humidity. To me, it's an absolutely gross feeling. Right now is really nice. It's dry out here and really warm, very, very comfortable. I have the umbrella up. It's actually too hot in the sun, I find it, but really, really nice. And you can sit out here all day, and there's no bugs or anything. There was one fly floating by here right now. It's about it. But we have this carnivorous plant, and we put it in the kitchen because there's sometimes fruit flies in there, and the sundew plant and the cobra lily, they eat up the fruit flies and whatever else happens to attach itself to those sticky little tentacles on the sundew plant. So I'm sure everybody's gardens are growing fine, and I bet you're watering like crazy out there. We're spending a lot of time watering now. It's very dry here on the Southern Gulf Islands. I just finished watering the bananas, which reminds me I should actually go down and fertilize the bananas again. I'm going to hit them with a high nitrogen fertilizer. They're quite big right now, and with this weather, they're just growing like mad. I did plant a couple of little Sable brazoria seedlings in the garden. They're right by the butia, so I'll upload a video of that maybe later on, and then you can see what they're like. My friend Austin in Arkansas was asking about those, and they're not very big. I have a seed plat full of them. Actually, I shipped a bunch of them to Switzerland yesterday, or actually today, and I shipped some seeds to Washington today, and some Sable Cross Brazoriensis to Switzerland today. It's funny, people in Switzerland sometimes get their palms from Canada, yet there's a lot of palm trees that grow in southern Switzerland. And for those of you that don't know that, you should actually Google palm trees in Locarno, Switzerland. And in Locarno and Lugano, it is absolutely a palm lover's paradise. There are so many palm trees in southern Switzerland. It is to die for. Phoenix canariensis, Brahia armata, Jubea chilensis, Washingtonias, lots of Trachycarpus everywhere, and butias, and they're just so many big oleanders and citrus, and it's the same latitude as Portland, Oregon, 46 degrees north latitude, runs right through southern Switzerland. It's on the northern Italian border. Lake Maggiore, I think it's, there's a big lake there too. So I'm sure it kind of regulates a little bit. And yeah, they can get cold. But the difference between there and here is their summers are wet and humid, and their winters are dry and cold. Here, our summers are dry and warm, and our winters are cool and wet. And by having drier winters, it enables you to grow more things because there's less stress on them in cool and wet. Summertime, hot and wet's not a problem. That doesn't stress anything out. But cool and wet is actually hard on plants in the wintertime. So that's why I'm quite happy we can grow Trachycarpus palms here, because they grow in a similar climate. It's they're best suited for this climate right here, and that's why they do so well. As where you're going to try a Washingtonia flifera, and it's not a good palm here. I'm surprised Brahia armata actually does pretty well here too, but Edulis actually does better, and it tolerates the winter rain a little bit more. And Robusta will tolerate winter rain more than Flifera, believe it or not, but less cold hardy, unfortunate. And but Brahia or Edulis has proven itself to be pretty hardy here. It's the worst winters you get every 10 or 15 years where it's probably going to need some help. And that's easy enough to do. I mean, you could just put some remay around it or some frost cloth, or you could wrap it up with burlap during the cold snap and then just take that off. And I do know of a few really nice, several nice Brahia edulis palms growing here on our coast. And there's some in Victoria, and there's some nice ones just near Vancouver. In my friend Brian's garden, and they're actually quite big. And he's had them there for, I think he probably planted them about 19 or 20 years ago, and he gives them a little help when it gets cold in the winter time. The rest of the year, they're on their own. They have nice big fronds on them, almost kind of washy-like, you know. Beautiful fronds, stiff fronds, and nice and tropical looking. But, you know, you got enough of Trachycarpus cluster together, they look pretty tropical too. And that's why we do cluster our palm trees together. And I always mass plant. I personally don't like seeing single palms here and there. I like to see them in a grouping, usually a grouping of 3 minimum and or more. And Wendy's the same way. She likes to group the palms together. And if you mass plant them, it really does give you a jungle type look effect, right? You see, so you see behind me, and you see from my live streams, I usually live stream in the spot just because the reception's really good. And you can see it. They're all clustered together, so there's actually a palm grove behind me. And we just planted 2 more waggies there a week or 2 ago, and they're doing really well. And you'll see those one day popping up behind me too as they grow taller. The passion vine has got lots of flowers on it. Hey, GDE Gardens, how's it going? And our Cardiocrinum giganteum is ready to bloom. So stay tuned for a video. This giant Himalayan lily is an amazing tropical looking plant, big round tropical leaves on it. Right now it's over 6 feet tall with 7 trumpets on the top that are ready to pop open. So hopefully it will be open in the next couple of days, and I will shoot a video for you, and you can see what a giant Himalayan lily looks like. I planted the bulb 5 years ago. It's taken 5 years for that to bloom for us. Hey, hello, how's it going? You guys are in there, right on. It is 5:11 p.m. here Pacific time. Palm Tree Dude in GD Gardens. Current temperature 23 degrees Celsius and 60% humidity, and it is Thursday. And when I got home from work, I have kind of a routine. I went in and I worked out, and then I had to water some of the garden. I watered the south garden, I watered the vegetable garden, and then I watered some of the bamboo and the bananas and all that stuff. But then I hit them with some fertilizer. I gave them a higher nitrogen fertilizer, some of the plants. So slow release, and we'll see how they do with that. I got to hit the bananas, though. We're going to do that as well. I have to go somewhere for 20 minutes. I'll come back. If you're still okay, Palm Tree Dude. Sweet. Yeah, if I'm here, jump in. If I'm not, well, just stay tuned for the next live stream, which will be next Friday, 5 o'clock, anywhere between 5 and 5:30 p.m. Pacific time here, which is probably going to be, well, where GD Gardens is probably going to be about 8 o'clock. I'm thinking they're probably 3 hours ahead of us in Georgia. Are they 3 hours ahead of us? I'm thinking Georgia's 3 hours ahead of us. If they're in the same time zone as Florida. Billy said, hey, Billy, which way you going, Billy? There's a song. Who sung that? That was the Poppy Family. Which way you going, Billy? Hey, Billy, how's it going? Yeah, anyway, hope you guys are having a great day down there. I get off work at a reasonable time, but I start very early, and I had a really, really good day today at work. I was actually installing recycle/garbage bins in some of the different places, and I got to go down to the beach, and there's some nice beaches here, but I went down to the beach, and I wish I could have stayed there and just hung out on the beach. I shot a video of it so you can see what the beaches look like here. Garden in Portland here has 150 Himalayan. Whoa, wow, that is awesome. Ours are just coming. We have one Himalayan lily, Cardiocrinum giganteum. And yeah, no, the first time I ever saw them was in the late 1980s in a buddy's garden. And I finally got a bulb 5 years ago and planted it. And this is the first year it's going to bloom. And I think that's the end of it. It only blooms once, but I think it sends off offsets. Correct me if I'm wrong. Old Germantown Gardens. Oh, cool. Right on. Well, in Portland, there used to be a very good restaurant called the Rhinelander, which was a German restaurant, and I've eaten in there before because when we went down to Oregon City to pick up our greenhouses, we actually stayed in Portland. So we went out for dinner to the Rhinelander restaurant. That was, oh God, that was in 1995. We drove the dump truck down there, me and a buddy I worked with, and that's where I used to work at another place, a nursery. I used to work at a big nursery here, and we went down to get some greenhouses down in Oregon City. And the Rhinelander restaurant was really good German food. I think there's a lot of Germans in Portland, right? I'm sure there are. And I heard the Rhinelander restaurant isn't there anymore. I heard they're actually gone. So hopefully everybody's doing okay out there. Things are getting back to normal here. Closed for 3 years. Closed 3 years ago. That's terrible. Too bad. I don't know. Maybe they packed it in. Did they go out of business, or they just wanted to call it quits? Maybe retire. I don't think they would have went out of business. The food was too good there. I don't think good restaurants don't go out of business, but I heard a lot of places will probably go out of business due to what's been going on around the world, right? You know what I mean? But yeah, things are getting back to normal here. But in order to come to our island, you definitely have to wear some face protection. Once you get to the ferries, they will ask you if you have a mask on hand. And if you don't have a mask on hand, they will turn you around. And that's kind of a drag, especially if you've come all the way across the country and you end up at the ferry terminal there and you want to come over to our islands. And the first thing they say is, let's see your mask. And you don't have a mask. Well, sorry, you're not coming on the boat. And that would be a drag. So you'd have to get out of the ferry lineup and go somewhere and buy a mask, which is not that close. So anyway, if you're planning on coming to the Southern Gulf Islands, bring a mask. Yeah, always have one in your vehicle. I rarely wear a mask. I wore one yesterday when I went to the bathroom because I find there's a lot of people, like when I went to clean the bathrooms, I work for the Parks Department, so I'm cleaning the bathrooms, the public bathrooms, and there's a lot of hooligans in the park that like to kind of get really close to you, and I like to keep my social distance from people. You know what I mean? So that's why I wear a mask. James, hey Joe, what's happening? I just planted my largest seed grow at Washington Robusta Germany. Just finished putting on. Sweet, that's awesome. Right on. Oh, it's probably loving the heat, no doubt. Mask mandatory in Portland. Just started. Good tropical PDX. That's good to know. Yeah, they're not mandatory here on Salt Spring, but there's a lot of people wearing them. Usually older people are wearing masks, right? I have them. I have them in my Parks truck, and I have one in my regular truck, but don't really wear it that much. It's too hot in the Pacific Northwest. Yeah, well, where you are, Duck Killer Clyde, it's a lot hotter than it is here. So current temperature here is 23 degrees Celsius and 60% humidity. Where you are, it's probably about 30 degrees Celsius. Doesn't make the law legislature. Oh, okay, cool, interesting. Yeah, it's actually quite nice here. It's very, very nice. Working and it was pretty toasty, but I tried to stay in the shade most of the day, and it felt really nice when I went to the beach. And you got this nice white sand beach with just a few people on it. It was absolutely beautiful, and I just wish I could have stayed down there, but I had work to do. 30C, yeah, I figured it's about 30C there. Yeah, see, we're right by the water here, so it's 23. It's probably in the high 20s or 30C somewhere on Salt Spring Island. I would say where they grow the olives, it's probably upwards of 30 degrees Celsius there. It gets really hot. And where I was working today, it was like too hot for me, man. I don't like working in it. 27 with lots of humidity. Yeah, it's 60% humidity right now, which is a little higher than usual, but it's still not that bad. Hey, Conzo W3, 30C tomorrow. Yeah, we're on a out of the high pressure is locked in here now, so it's dry. It's very, very dry, but yeah, there's going to be probably no 30s here that I see in the temperature, but there'll be 30s elsewhere on our island in the valleys. There's definitely going to be 30s. They get lots of 30-degree days where they grow the olives in the vineyards, but at this end of the island, you really don't get a lot of 30-plus days. We're We're too close to the ocean. And I don't know if I showed you. Let me just hang on one sec. Let me grab something. Where's the map? There it is. Coming back, folks. Coming back. I'm just going to show you. I'm just going to show you something. This is a really good map. It's a studio tour map, right? Okay, because Wendy has a gallery. She has an art gallery, and she's a studio. So that's a really good map of Salt Spring. Some of you've seen it before. Okay, so we're right here. Okay, we're way up here on the north end, and the olive farm is. Let's just see. Let me look at this map here. The olive farm is about right in here, right beside this highway right there. You see, so it's quite far from us. This area gets really warm in here and in here. So on Saturday, I have to carve a tiki for somebody uh, in a very far remote region of our island, and I have to go. Let's just see, where's Musgrave Landing? I have to go to here. See right this little point right here. There's a dock down there. There's a wharf, and there's like a little village right here. It takes over an hour to drive from here to here. So this lady wants a tiki, and she's been asking for the last year. So I'm going to carve her a tiki. And the way you get to this point right here is you have to drive down here, and then you drive down Isabella Point Road, and you go down Musgrave, and you have to drive over the mountain. So thank God Wendy's got a four-wheel drive. We're going to go over the mountain, and up in the top of the mountain, there's a big lake, and then you descend and you come out by the ocean. So the people that live on this part of our island actually do their shopping on the big island because it's way too far to come to Ganges, the village up here. It's way too far. So it's really close to go to Vancouver Island. They just take their boats across, and then that's where they do their shopping over there. So that's the map of Salt Spring. You can see why it doesn't get so hot up here. We got a lot of ocean and not a lot of land. You see, that's how narrow it is where we live. Right there, the ocean is right close on the other side as well. Right, so we're very influenced by the ocean up here on the north end of the rock. Snowbird flock, how are you doing there? Good to see you in there. Something told me check Joe for live stream. Yeah, I decided to. Rob H, Mr. Joe, whole family watching. Sweet. Good to see you in there, Rob H. Well, we got a few people in there. I didn't know how many people would be in there. Billy Johnson. It was 32 here in UK today. Salt Spring climate is very yes, it is very similar here. Although it's a lot milder if you get to the southern part of the UK. If you go to the Scilly Islands, it's zone 9B10. Okay, that's how mild it is. For you people that don't know about the southern part of the United Kingdom, England, if you get out to the Scilly Islands, it's about 28.5 miles off the coast of Cornwall, the south coast of UK. The island chain out there is about zone 10. And for those of you who've never seen pictures of the Scilly Isles, it is basically looking like Southern California there. Like I'm talking date palms that were planted in the 1800s. There's Washingtonias, there's Jubeias, there's huge agaves, there's massive cordyline. They grow everything on the Isle of Tresco in the Scilly Islands and some of the other islands as well. I mean, you get out to Guernsey and you get out the Isle of Man and Isle of Wight. Climate out there in the southern England is amazing. My daughter's been to England, but not me. Cool. Well, my daughter used to live there. Sammy, oh, you never met my daughter. She lived in England for 3 or 4 years. She lived in Taunton in Somerset, and then her and her husband moved to Cornwall, and she lived in South Cornwall, and she worked over there too. And it was easy for her to move and work there because her grandparents, my ex's side of the family, are British, right? So if you have British grandparents that were born there, you can actually move there and work. It's really easy. Conzo W3 comment. I see some French in there. I don't know how to speak French. But if in Montreal they speak French, in Eastern Canada they speak a lot of French. I do not speak French at all, but I do see it on our cereal boxes. 32. That's pretty toasty for the UK. Very, very toasty for the UK. Wow. Yeah. No, this is nice right now. I really don't want to get it hotter than this. And that's what we were talking about at work at the end of the day. We don't want warmer temperatures than this. This is good enough for me. Palm Tree Dude, how's it going, man? Good to see you in there. So, the problem with this weather, it gets very, very dry here. And we don't have a thick membrane of soil. We're living on a rock. So Wendy's constantly making soil, like I said before. So I brought home 4 more buckets of grass clippings for garbage can fulls, and she just spreads them throughout the gardens. They rot down, and she keeps adding it. It's holding the moisture in, which is really good. We were 31 today. 31, Palm Tree Dude. Wow. Can you grow musabaju in zone 4? What happened on your birthday? Snow means what happened on your birthday. It means, oh, really? Cool. Thanks, man. What happened on What happened on my birthday? I didn't go to Tofino like I planned on it because of what's going on the planet. So I had to stay here, and I had a staycation for my birthday right here in a tropical garden. Can you grow musabaju in zone 4s, Jason? I think you could with heavy duty protection. If you mulch the living heck out of them, I think it is possible. You'll never keep the top canes above the ground in winter, but the roots could be hardy with a heavy duty couple of zones worth of mulch. Probably 3 zones worth of mulch, you could do it. Rob H, 25 in Langley. Yeah, Langley. And I know Langley well. Jason Musabaju. Yep, tough as nails. Rob, I know how hot it gets in Langley. And you know where I lived in South Langley. And used to record the weather there too and grow the palms and exotics. Langley is much hotter than here in the summertime because you're at least 6 miles inland from Semiahmoo Peninsula, the ocean. And here we're right beside the ocean. We're only hundreds of feet away from the ocean here. Palm tree, dude. I've been to London in late June. It was chilly when I was there, but there were actually good amount. Oh, there's tons of palms. There's so many palm trees in England. In London, there are huge date palms growing. Do you know that? There's huge CIDP, Phoenix canariensis, growing, and the most massive ones you're going to see anywhere near here that have stood the test of time would be Gold Beach, Oregon, and that's just south of here on the Oregon coast. It's about about a 10-hour drive, 11-hour drive south of here, something like that. So big date palms down in the Oregon coast. But you got to remember the latitude too. Think of the latitude of London. It's the same latitude as Vancouver, Canada. Okay. So it's very impressive that they can grow massive date palms there. What's the most cold hardy palm? Jason, Rapidophyllum hystrix is the most cold hardy palm tree. It is the king of the frost beaters. Okay. Needle palm. Needle palm is the most cold hardy palm tree. Second to that is sable minor, the dwarf palmetto. All right. So they're more scrubby palms. They will grow. Needle palms can probably grow 10 feet tall and 10 feet wide over time, but slow this far north, a lot faster in the deep south. Palm tree dude, I've seen smaller canaries, but no big. Oh, there's big ones there. There's also big Washingtonia there. I know that because I'm in the Palm Society and I've seen them written up in our journals. There's one guy in London in his backyard and he's got a 18-foot Washingtonia in his backyard. Snowbird, do you like 31C? I don't like 31C. I like 31C when I don't work in it. If I don't have to work in it, it's okay. Sorry, English is bad now. I live in Scotland, but I mostly speak French. Scotland, my wife's been to Scotland. She loves Scotland. That was one of her favorite places to visit. Scotland. Lots of palm trees in Scotland too. Some people report sable minor better than needle. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're pretty hardy plants, especially if you get them from a good ecotype. You get McCurtain sable minor, and they're a very tough palm. They're native to Oklahoma, right? McCurtain County. Billy John, what was the best hybrid have you ever seen? I like the mule palms. I like Jubea butea cross, and we have some mule palms in our garden. And I think I really like the Syagris butea. We have a Syagris butea in our garden. It seems to be doing very well. David Brown, yeah, Dave's got a big Washingtonia. It's been there for years. I'm thinking it's probably been there for probably close to 20 years. Dave Brown's in England. It's huge, yeah. And there are some in London as well. Let's just see in the southeast. Let's see. I'm just reading all your little comments here. My French is pretty weak. My French is no good at all. I've heard people say sable minor survived central Midwest while needles died. That's interesting. Well, it's nice what people do report that because they do claim that needle palm are the hardiest palm trees in the world. And I usually like to tell people that, but you know what? I'm sure there's some sable minor that have probably rivaled them in the cold hardiness challenge. Is there a palm that can take minus 30? No. I'm going to tell you something, man. Okay, so the coldest I've ever heard of needle palm surviving is minus 29 degrees Celsius. Maybe there's been newer reports, and I have articles. I have write-ups of these, right? Being in the Palm Society, I've got a lot of literature on palms I've collected over the years, and that was a short-term freeze. Okay, minus 30 is enough. Minus 30 would kill a lot of our native plants here on Salt Spring Island. That's pretty cold, minus 30. So if you're going to grow a needle palm, you get to minus 30, you're going to need some protection in the wintertime. Christmas lights will work. You can cheat a little bit. Snowbird flock. I used to love the heat. Same with me. I'm the same as I get older, Dave. I don't like the heat as much. I don't like working in it. I like the heat when I don't work in it. And when I'm in my garden, it can bring me, hot because we can go across the street to the ocean and jump in the water, or I can go into the forest and go in the shade. Daniel Zinn. Hey Joe, what of T4 T Waggy Chin Shamrocks will grow best in a pot? You can grow any of them in a pot. Chilensis, Jubea chilensis, I don't think I'd be keeping in a pot. Longer term, I'd keep Trachycarpus fortunei and Camarops in a pot. I've seen really big Camarops humilis and fortunei in the pot, especially fortunei. Trachycarpus fortunei, there's actually a big one growing in a planter right in town, right in front of one of the shops. There's like Fatsia japonicas in a pot, and then there's this palm with like 6 feet of trunk on it, or 7 feet of trunk. Pot's not that big, and the palm looks great. I'll shoot a video of it sometime. How is your quarantine going? Yeah, no, none of that here. Everything's pretty much getting back to normal here. Yeah, we never did have that here on Salt Spring Island. You know, it's been fine. We don't have any reported cases of it either, so which is good. Yeah, doing physical work and heat can be bad. Yeah, it is. I do not like doing physical heat in the work. When is the best time to plant a palm tree? Good question, Rob. In the North Pacific, here in the Pacific Northwest / North Pacific, same thing. Spring and summer is the best time to plant a palm tree. The worst time to plant a palm tree is fall and winter. Okay, so you want them to get established and better in warmer soil too, so they put out more roots faster. And so spring and summertime is the best time to plant them. And the best time to fertilize them is spring and summer. Usually hold off by midsummer because you want the growth to slow down a little bit before you get into winter. Langley is a different growing zone than here, I will tell you. Langley is 8A, 8B, and where I am here is zone 9A. Okay, so I can tell you I've planted palms in every single month of the year with no adverse effect. Okay, so in Langley, spring and summer is a good time. And there are lots of palm trees in Langley now. There never was a lot when I lived there. But I have a friend that lives on 248th and 16th that actually has a palm nursery, my buddy Adam. And he got 2 palms from him a few weeks ago that were brought over here by my other buddy, Cloverdale. I've got to go, but keep up the good work. Okay, see you later, Conzo W3. Take care. Have a good one, man. Thanks for dropping in there. Palm tree is worse if it's humid. Yeah, I don't like it. Well, we don't have the bugs here, thank goodness. Fatsia japonica is okay too in a pot. Yes, Fatsia japonica is absolutely awesome in a pot. And you cut them back too if they get too big. When is Banana Top 10 Gardens on Vancouver Island coming out? Well, I don't go over to Vancouver Island all that much because Island. And, you know, every time you go over there, it's like $45 for a ferry ride. So there are some nice gardens over there. I think if I go to Victoria next time, I will visit my buddy Jeff's garden and it will absolutely blow you away, okay? He has so many palm trees. He's a strict palm collector. And he's been growing palms in his garden since 1984, okay? So they're big. He's got Jubeas, Butias, he's got Camarops, he's got Brachias, he's got Trithrinics, he's got tons of Waggies, mature grove of Wagnerianus palms. You would love his garden. So I'm going to make a point of going over to Jeff's place and visiting him and shooting a video of his garden. So, and I do have videos on here of gardens in Victoria. There's one on Kipling Street with, I think they got about 16 or 17 mature palm trees they planted in 1970. So the whole front yard is a mature grove of palm trees. It looks pretty cool. And across the street, there's a bunch of them too. Rob H., you're welcome, Rob. Good to see you in there too. Let's see. What do we have here? I have 3 blankets enough for Musa Bajou. Is 3 blankets enough for Musa Bajou in zone 4? I wouldn't use blankets. I would actually use a thermal cube. I would use heat of some sort in zone 4. Zone 4, it can get pretty cold, man. Very cold. I mean, I had a tough time keeping them in zone 8 above the ground. They would freeze down in zone 8A. Snowbird flock. I love August, September. Bugs are gone. Temperatures nice. Yeah. That's when you came out here. You came in August, I think it was. Daniel's in. Have you had a chance to talk to Gardner? No, but you know what? Somebody came here the other day that lives at that complex, and I told them all about the butcher Gardner. And those people came and got a couple of paintings from Wendy because Wendy's an artist. We have an art gallery here. And I said, you know, I mentioned the gardener, and she says, that's really interesting because I have to meet with the gardening committee. And I told her exactly what the gardener's done. And I said, you better bring this to their attention before she butchers everything in there. And planting a dogwood. You saw the video, right? I put a video on here. She's supposed to be this master gardener / landscape architect. She planted a dogwood. She basically sat the pot, took it out of the pot, or it could have been a B&B, a burlap, bulb burlap, sat the thing on the ground and just put dirt around it. So the thing's sitting on the ground surface and it's staked in there. Like nobody in the right mind is going to plant a tree like that. Not even somebody that doesn't know anything about gardening. And this is supposed to be a landscape architect. It boggles my mind. So anyway, the people that I met were very nice. They love palm trees. They love the exotics. And they're going to talk to the head of the gardening committee about the lady that shouldn't have pruners. Charles Benenjo, I have had learned a lot from you and James Palms using house as a greenhouse to germinate. Charles, 8,000 windmill plants. South Carolina, yeah, well, they would germinate fast there. That is a subtropical type climate, and especially if you get near the ocean, there's a lot of nice palm trees in South Carolina, especially Charleston. And even way up the coast, you get into Virginia Beach. There's some nice palm trees way up there too. All Atlantic Avenue in Virginia Beach is lined with palm trees. Lots of palmettos. They grow a lot of palmettos up that way, but they're native to South Carolina. Palm tree dude, they mound up avocado trees in California, clay soil. Yeah, well, you know what? Everything's growing in the ground there at Grace Point, and there's no clay soil, right? It's pretty rocky, but there was plants growing there before that had been removed, so she could easily plant them there. She moved another jubea and it died. There was 2 jubeas at Grace Point. She moved it and it died. I could not believe it. I'm sorry. I want to strangle that lady. I really do. Is Wendy going to an art show like Bob Ross did? Joy? I don't know, but she has a gallery here. Wendy does have an art gallery. It's called Gallery 59. You can check it out on Facebook. There's a Facebook page, Gallery 59, and you can see her artwork on there. So, and she's got a studio where she paints, and then she's got the gallery here beside it here on the property. So people were here today buying some of her cards. She sells cards and everything in there. Too much wind and salt. They always look terrible in the spring. Oh, yeah, they do. They do get a lot of wind there. We don't. That's the thing. We don't get any of that. Duck Gallery 59 because she was born in 1959. That's why she called it Gallery 59. I thought it was kind of a cool name. So it is called Gallery 59, and there is a Facebook page, and you can check out some of her artwork. I loved Bob Ross, William Alexander, such a funny man. Cool. I don't even know if I've heard of him. What is he, a comedian or something? If you were in charge of city beautification via landscape, Vancouver, Victoria, what would you plant those cities? Oh, Daniel, I'm telling you, man, if we had a mayor here, we're unincorporated, so there's no mayor, right? There's nothing here. We're just unincorporated. But if I was the mayor of Salt Spring, darn, the streets would be lined in palm trees. And if I was the mayor of Vancouver, it'd be the same thing. Every single street would be lined with palm trees. Well, streets that don't have any trees on them. I'm not going to go cut down the established trees, but streets that don't have any trees on them, they grow there. I'm going to plant them. And I think it would look awesome. So, you see in the west end of Vancouver, you know what it's like. I would do the same thing here. So over the years, I've incorporated as many as I can into the landscape. And I've been doing it here since 1989. I've been planting a lot of them since I've been here on Salt Spring Island. And they're all growing really good. And I think more the merrier. And it just looks good, especially when the tourists come and see them. Kind of tells you something about the climate too, doesn't it? Right? Looking up to a 6-hour drive to Myrtle Beach tomorrow. Wow. That is a long drive. Wow. Was a U.S. in a painting show in PBS. Oh, yeah, I've never heard of him. Cool. I could probably get him on YouTube, I bet. William Alexander was a hilarious German painter. Watch. Wow, cool. Yeah, I should. Wendy's probably heard of him. I found a book the other day. It's weird. Somebody left this book in the park on top of the garbage can. And often people leave park books for other people to read, right? About this thick, in mint shape, and it was Picasso, The Life of Picasso. And it has his paintings in there, everything. So I brought it for Wendy, so she's got it her studio. She thought it was kind of cool. And yeah, what are the odds of that? Wendy's a painter, and I find a book on Picasso, right? So I got her that book. I don't know if she'll ever read it, but she's got it in her studio. I've been collecting I've been collecting eucalyptus seeds, neighbor in Victoria. No, you can sow them. So far, 4 kinds. Sweet. Yeah, no, I definitely sow them. I sowed mine weeks ago in the greenhouse, and they're starting to, some of them are coming up in the seed flat. There's some little guys coming. I did a mix mash in there. There's Periniana, there's Gunnii, there's Archri, there's Nitens. There might be Nitens in there, and there's some Globulus too. I got the Globulus from Germany, though. What has been your most disappointing plant in your garden? Daniel. Okay, what has been the most disappointing plant in my garden? I'd say Washingtonias. They're short term. You know what I mean? I'd say washies and Butias. Butias, they're not one of my favorite palms, unfortunately. I think they look okay, but they're definitely not one of my favorite palms. They're very prone to center spear loss. So I've grown a lot of Butias over the years, and they get to a really nice size, and then you get a bad winter and they lose a spear. The last bad winter was 2008. And 2 of them lost their spears. I left them. I didn't treat them with any hydrogen peroxide or copper sulfate. And they slowly faded away over course of a year or two. The fronds stayed green, but then slowly started to die as time passed. But the center spears came out. So I have more butias. There's one behind me here. This is a butia. This one's a few years now, probably going into fourth winter right now. It's a nice palm. You know what I mean? And it was really, really small when we got it. It was really tiny. So they grow really fast here, Butia capitata. And there are some nice ones. So in the more high end of Zone 9A gardens here, they are really a long-term plant. There's some big on Salt Spring Island, right beside the ocean. Okay. I'm about 900 feet from the ocean, and that makes a difference. You know, our temperatures can get slightly colder than there, and you get down to 18 degrees in a bad winter, and your daytime temperatures don't go much above freezing, and it stays like that for several days. That's enough to lose the spears. So I've never been really that impressed with Butia capitata. I've lost them on the mainland too. So Butias, Washingtonia fliffera, not so good here. Absolutely useless. In my garden, everything else seems to be really good. Hey, I've got Camadoria radicalis in the garden for 23 years now. 1997 I planted it. It's never been damaged. It's better than Butia. Go figure, right? Needle palms love ground freeze. Yeah, we have a lot of needle palms here, Clyde. We have about 7 of them in our garden, and they're all doing fine. Next time I'm on VJ, Butia do great in Portland. Yeah, there's probably some big ones there. What has been your most? Yeah, Phylifera. Yeah, garbage in the North Pacific. Phylifera. It's actually better to grow Robusta with protection because they can handle moisture better. Phylifera do not like winter moisture. Any umbrella pines, Sciadipides? No, we don't have one here, but I had a really nice one at my last location. I planted it in the mid 1980s, and it was small. And when I left, it was a pretty good sized tree, but they're very slow growing. So when I left my last yard, it was probably about 6 feet tall, something like that. And no, we don't have any Sciadipides here, but we do have a long needle pine, Mexican long needle pine. Actually, umbrella pine isn't really a true pine, I don't think. It's not pine. Umbrella pines, no. Needle palm, love that. I'm just reading the comments here. I have Phylifera, and that won't die. Wow, maybe it's a filibuster. Takes all summer to start looking good. I know. That's the problem. That's the problem. When a Phylifera gets whacked by cold, they're very slow to put fronds out this far north. Portland gets more heat than we do. And I know that for a fact. I've been there in the summer. I've been to Portland quite a few times. It's way hotter here. I mean, it's a 6-hour drive south of here, just over the Columbia Gorge from Vancouver, Washington. It bakes there in the summertime. That's what Phylifera like, but it's still going to need some protection in the winter when it gets cold. Do you cold stratify? Some of them need it. The ones I put in the when they went through the winter time, so it really didn't matter, right? So you could put them in the fridge. The ones I collected off our trees, they're fine because they've all been through the winter, and I just sow them, and they seem to be okay. They're coming up. That's the way I've always grown them. But if you want, I guess you could put them in the fridge. Could needle palms grow in Zone 4 with protection? I don't think there's any long-term palm in Zone 4. I would put needle palm. In a northern Zone 6, I would still say they need protection. Anywhere in Canada in Zone 6, they're going to need protection. In certain states, like you get into Kansas and Missouri, a needle palm will probably do just perfect. Put it on a south wall, maybe even out in the open. But a Zone 6 in Canada is a lot different than a Zone 6 in the Midwest or the southeastern states. So in the north, it's definitely going to need protection. Zone 4, that's pretty low zone. So I would definitely give it protection in the wintertime. I've only been to Portland and Oregon once. Yeah, I've been there quite a few times. First time I was in Oregon would have been when I was 17. We were driving down to California, buddy and I. And I just remember seeing the first palm trees and just getting out in the vehicle and hugging them. They were big date palms. And it was the worst thing. I blew off a ton of film on palm trees. It was like a Kodak 110 Instamatic camera. And I went on Space Mountain in Disneyland. We went to Disneyland. It's dark in there. And the camera, I don't know, the back of it came off. And I got off of Space Mountain and my film was gone. Like it fell out. My cartridge film fell out. So I took a bunch more pictures of palms. But all of those pictures of me hugging palms were on that camera, on that film. That was a drag. And that was just, I was so in love with palm trees. And I just remember seeing all these beautiful big date palms everywhere. Let's just see. Show. Portland is dumb and is. You don't like Portland. Duck Killer Clyde does not like Portland. But Duck Killer Clyde does live in Oregon. But I think he lives inland Oregon. And then you got a place on the coast too, right? Yeah, I know Portland's a pretty big city. And you got to remember where I live. I live out in the boonies. There are no big cities anywhere near us here on Salt Spring Island. We are very rural here, and I do like it. The only thing I'm hearing right now is a lot of birds. A lot of birds. Tropical PDX doesn't live in Portland. Well, there are lots of Trachycarpus there. My main memory of Portland was my sister and I seeing a very short woman, less than 4 feet tall, and laughing. That was you mean Canadian you. That would have been a midget. Can I say that? Actually, or vertically challenged. Everybody's politically correct now. So you got to really watch what you say. It's not Merry Christmas anymore. It's Happy Holidays. You know what I mean? And everybody does get offended by something. I don't get offended by things, but there's a lot of people out there that do. So you really got to watch what you say. Often I don't watch what I say, and sometimes I offend people. It's like, whoa, really? You can't say Merry Christmas? You can't say Indian anymore. Then it became First Nations person, but now you can't even call him First Nations person. It's an Indigenous person. So, when you're a kid, you played cowboy and Indians. It was no big deal. Indian motorcycle, right? You know what I mean? But everybody gets offended. I mean, they're changing the names of a lot of things. Queen Charlotte Island is now Haida Gwaii, and Strait of Georgia between here and Vancouver is the Sailor Sea, right? I roll my eyes to Happy Holidays. Totally. Yeah, I know. So to me, it's Merry Christmas. If I see you and I'm doing a live stream just before Christmas, it will be Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, right? Not Happy Holidays. My brother-in-law is an Eskimo. Cool. Wow. Palm Tree Dude, I haven't been to the West Coast yet. I've been all around eastern part of the Southeast. Wow. Oh, you got to come to the West Coast. You like it here. My brother-in-law is an Eskimo. We have Eskimos on. Oh, you can't say Eskimo. You got to say northern person now, man. There's some Eskimos on our island. Yeah, for sure. They're one of them came from Baffin Island. Actually, she was a friend of mine, and she passed away. Really nice lady. And then there's another one from actually I know two other guys that are Eskimos. But and one time I was waiting in line at the supermarket, and one of them was behind me, one the Eskimo dude, and he says, "Man, they should sell seal meat here." And I says, "Is it good?" And he says, "Yeah, he likes it." And I says, "I'd try it. Why not?" Aleutian Islands. Oh yeah, that's up off Alaska, and it's amazing. The Aleutian Islands. I've talked there lots on my radio. Way down, it comes off of Alaska, and I remember talking to a guy up there. Um, I'm just trying to think of the name of the place of the island in the Aleutian Islands. Oh, it's right on the tip of my tongue, too. Dutch Harbor. It was Dutch Harbor. And I'd get on my radio, my two-way radio, and I'd talk to this guy pretty much every day for, when the DX was running, I'd talk to this guy for probably 2 months. And that was back, a long time ago. That was back in the early 80s. But yeah, it's a long way from here. I use high frequency. I do have RCI 2970 WX and a RCI 2970 DX. So they are ham radios, but I don't go up into the ham bands. I'm up still into 11 meters, and I go low and I go high. But I talk anywhere I want. I have two antennas on the other side of the house. I have an IMAX 2000 and an Antron 99. I've been talking since 1977. Who is here? Hi. What is going on? Oh, you guys got to see this kitty. You got to see the kitty. You got to see the kitty. Krista, bring kitty. Kitty. Look at this. You want to see something cute? How is that, guys? Look at that. That should bring on the views right there. This is a kitty. It's a calico kitty.
Bravery.
Got to watch it, though, with owls and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Look at that. Isn't that a cute cat? That's Krista's. Smells good, too. Kind of smells like pot. Krista works in a pot farm.
Yeah.
You want to grow pot, talk to this girl. She knows what she's doing. Look at that cat. It actually kind of smells a cross between sweetness and cannabis. Isn't it cute? I had him out today.
Yeah.
I did have him out today. You can say hi. Okay. See, that's Krista. Look at that. Isn't that a cutie? There you go.
Okay.
I like your hat. That's bravery. Yeah, super cute. The dogs just kind of get used to it. Daniel's in. How about you, Killer Clyde? Are you ham? Back to Palms and Pots question. Would all three mention 14-night cameras? Yes, absolutely. You can for sure. Easy to transplant from the ground, for the pots to ground. Cats are only good. Well, that's why we have them to kill rats. The big cat had a mouse today, right? So Wendy's trying to get the mouse away from the cat because it's squeaking. And then our dog came in. We have a Yorkie, and he kills rats and mice, and he killed it just like that. Stay tuned for video. I think Wendy had her camera rolling. I'll tell you one time. had a stovepipe on the back deck here, and right below the water tap with the hose. And Wendy comes out. She goes, oh, "Look, there's a mouse. There's a mouse in the stovepipe. It's just a piece of sheet metal stovepipe." So I wanted to let the mouse out. So I got the camera rolling. I'm shooting a YouTube video because I'm going to let this mouse free. It's just a little mouse, and the dog's waiting for it. The Yorkie Terrier's waiting, and they're bred for ratting, for killing rodents and mice, rats and mice. And I says, our dog wouldn't do anything. I see it playing with its stuffy toys. It's never killed anything before that. The minute I lifted up the stovepipe, and I got a video of this, it's just like, it was so fast, the mouse was dead like that. So then he went on to killing 3 more rats. And he's always on the hunt for rats. He's really fast at killing them. Daniel's in. Thanks, man. Thanks for stopping by. Good. And stop in again next time and say hi, man. Always nice to have you in. Yeah, I don't have any cats. That's Krista's cat. The winters in Alberta have, Jason, been very mild for us. It's rained in January and climate suitable. No, I would say nowhere in Alberta. Well, no, you can grow them, but you'd have to protect them. You can pretty much grow palm trees anywhere, hardy ones, if you're going to protect them. So I think the warmest growing zone in Alberta would probably be 4, maybe in the south, if Lethbridge or something like that. So no, you would have to. It's too cold. I mean, you could try one, put one to the test, and then write about it. Do a video on it, an experiment, a needle palm in Alberta. There are people in Alberta that do have palm trees, but they do protect them. There's one guy that posts on my Facebook group, people who love palm trees and exotic plants, and I think he has a palm tree in the ground. But he does. I think he boxes it in. He boxes it in, and he has a heater with it or something like that. Otherwise, it's going to be crispy dead with the cold weather, right? I know climate is changing. It seems it's getting milder in some of the colder places. So I mean, get one. It really got -10. Wow, -10. What part of Alberta are you in? Wow, that's crazy. We had places here on Salt Spring Island that got to probably -10. Oh yeah, easily. In the Cranberry Valley, I bet you they were -10 this past winter. We were down to 22.1 degrees Fahrenheit, and if we were 22.1 degrees Fahrenheit, I know those places were probably close to -10 degrees Celsius. It gets very cold in those areas. Stay tuned. Well, I do have a video, but not stay tuned. I did shoot a video of a palm growing in that area too.
There's more boxes like that.
What do we say? My Dixonian can 5 crowns attached. No. Well, you know what? 5? You could separate them, I guess, if they have a bit of a trunk on them, because you got to remember the trunk on a Dixonia antarctica, on a tree fern, consists of roots, right? So if you're to take a tree fern and cut it in half and take the top portion where the fronds are sticking out and plant that, it will regrow. But the bottom portion will not regrow any more fronds, the part that's left in the ground. So I think if you have little trunks with it, you could take them and propagate them. Come here, Kahu. Come and say hi. Bring me the dog for a sec. Dog, I'm going to show this guy the ratters. If you've never seen our ratter before, this guy finished off a mouse today.
Well, Merlin started it.
So the cat started it, and this guy killed it. This is the little guy that looks like the ratter, and he's so fast at killing rats, it's not even funny. Hey, so that's Yorkie Havanese. He's a killer with rats. You like rats? You want to get a rat? You don't like rats. Beat it. Snowbird. Prince George, BC, it fell to -44. Whoa, that is cold. Joe, what's the name of the Buddy's Palm Nursery in Langley? It's Adam, and it's not he doesn't have a name on it because it's kind of like a private thing. But if you drive by of 248th and 16th Avenue, you will see it right on the corner there. It's on the right-hand side. So if you're heading east, and there's 248th and there's 16th North Bluff, he's right on the corner. And my buddy, and you got to know, he's in the Palm. He's a Palm Society guy, right? And he basically specializes in Trachycarpus wagnerianus palms. But Rob, if you really want some a nice selection of palms, do a Cedar Rim Nursery on Glover Road. Russ Bruce has a lot of palm trees. I used to buy a lot of stuff from Russ Bruce at Cedar Rim Nursery. It's a big nursery. But yeah, Adam there is kind of like, he works full time. So it's kind of his hobby, but he's got big greenhouses full of palms. And he does sell them once in a while to people in the Palm Society. So you could drive by there and check it out. In a weird, twisted way, I kind of liked it. The cold, -44, man, I would freeze my hiney off. That is cold. The coldest temperature I have ever experienced is here on the coast. And that would have been when I was a kid living on Lulu Island, which is a island next to Vancouver. right? So and it's Richmond. It's called Richmond. And the temperature dropped down to around minus 17 or so degrees Celsius in late 1968, December, and it was cold. I remember being all bundled up and playing in the snow. Cedar Rim, okay. Yeah, no, Cedar Rim has a lot of nice palm trees. And make sure you get the right palm tree. Get a windmill palm tree. Chinese windmill palm trees are the best for the Pacific coast of Canada. They got a proven track record. In November, I saw moss growing outside, and if there's a bug crawling in. Wow, Cochrane, Alberta. Wow. One of the guys I work with is from Sylvan Lake, Alberta. He moved here in 2007 from Sylvan Lake, so that's my work partner, one of them. Another guy from Winnipeg. But yeah, he said Sylvan Lake's a really nice place. It does get pretty cold in the wintertime, though. I've been to Alberta 2 or 3 times, but only in the summer months. I've been to Edmonton, and I stayed there for a week, and then I went down, and we drove down to Drumheller. I remember taking the kids to Drumheller. Minus 40 C is equal to minus 40. Yeah, because it's that cold. When it's minus 40, it is that cold. So for my American friends, 0 degrees Celsius equals 32 degrees Fahrenheit, okay? 0 degrees Fahrenheit equals minus 17.8 degrees Celsius. Yeah, that's good, Rob. Yep, thanks for that. Minus 40 C equals says it's that cold. And that's where the hardiest Canadians live. The most hardiest Canadians live in Winterpeg or somewhere in the north, and they can handle that. Duck killer class. 100 C is, yeah, well, 100 C, we would all be dead. 100 degrees Fahrenheit is 38 degrees Celsius. That's what 100 degrees Fahrenheit is, 38 degrees Celsius. Well, a lot of people don't know, Clyde. A lot of people have not a clue, and they tell me to speak in Fahrenheit, and I know both. Right? So, I mean, I said, if you don't know, then just go into the online conversion, right? Aloha, Natasha. How are you doing? I'm doing good. Hope you're doing good too. No, you're smart. And there's a lot of people that just don't know about metric system. And I absolutely hated it when it first came in. And I still use the standard conversion. Most everyone knows what water boils. I hope they do. I sure hope they do. James, hey Joe, forgot to ask you, are you going to be watching live tomorrow? Well, oh, you mean Paul Kraft? You mean the Palm guy? I should watch him. I've been on one of his live streams before. I think he's in Florida. Fahrenheit is nothing. Fahrenheit is nothing to me. Yeah, I know it both. I know Fahrenheit and I know Celsius, and I use both too. And even when I go to the lumber store, I don't use metric. When I buy wood, it's 2x4, 2x6, 2x8, 4x4. All my measuring tape is not in metric. Okay, it's in just the imperial. It's just the standard. That's the way I like it. It's too confusing, the metric stuff, when you go into the lumber yard. 4x8 sheet of plywood. That's what we do. That's the way we do it. I flew up north back in a day, minus 65 with wind chill. Natasha, yeah, I have a vacation from work right now. You're lucky. I wish I was on vacation, but I don't know what's going on with my vacation. I mean, I'm supposed to be taking my vacation in the winter months, so we'll see what happens. Do you use much lime? No, only in the garden, in the vegetable garden, but in our own garden, we don't. It's very acidic soil here, and most everything we grow seems to like acid soil. But in our vegetable garden, I did put a bunch of lime in there for the vegetables, and they seem to be okay with it. With all the needles around and stuff, it does to bring the pH down. Sulfur. I think sulfur brings the pH down, and lime brings the pH up, of course. That's how you change the color of hydrangeas too, by changing the pH of the soil. But most everything we grow here, even the eucalyptus trees, I've never added lime to them, and they're absolutely beautiful. And Trachycarpus palms don't mind acidic soil. Wind chill is nothing to me. I'd kill me. The wind chill would freeze me to death. Thanks for buying palm this weekend. Yeah, right on. Cool. If you need any tips, well, just watch the videos or just ask me. I mean, they're really easy to grow. If you can grow cans, thanks for answering my question. I'm going, yeah, sow the eucalyptus seed. It's really easy. Watch my videos on it. I have videos on sowing eucalyptus trees. It's really easy, the seed. Really, really easy to grow. Sow it on a seed flat of some Pro Mix or Sunshine Mix 4. Moisten it down. I like to use a little silica sand spread over top, but you can also spread just lightly some Pro Mix over top of it or Sunshine Mix 4. Yeah, get a windmill palm. You'll be happy with it. And if you got a lot of cold wind where you are, plant it in a wind-sheltered spot. When I lived in Langley, I remember the wind was really hard on the palm trees. Not the summer wind. I'm talking the winter wind, the outflow winds. Langley and areas of the Fraser Valley are subject to cold Arctic outflow winds, and you know what I'm talking about. And they're kind of relentless, and they kind of blow for several days at a time, and they can really desiccate BLEs, which is a broadleaf evergreen. So put it on a wind sheltered side of your house, like the west side of your house, and it should do just fine for you. I have a friend in Cloverdale with 30-foot palm trees in his yard. We planted them 30 years ago as seedlings. You should see these things. They're just monsters. And there's a lot of palm trees in Cloverdale. When I lived in Langley, I did not see one palm tree in Cloverdale. I don't remember. I think I remember one palm tree I had a lot of palm trees in my garden, but I remember one palm tree or two palm trees growing in Langley near Valley Garden Center. And I think they actually froze. But now there are big palm trees in Langley. So kind of tells you something about the climate. Yeah, it really does. Yeah, I think Clyde, I think sulfur will do that. Blast off, kiss the baby. Mike's in there. Hi, Mike. How's it going? Must be hot and toasty in Pennsylvania. I'm sure it is. Yeah, it is. It feels like it's getting warmer here. Current time is 5:59 p.m. Pacific time. When I started this live stream, it was 23 degrees Celsius. It actually feels warmer, and I'm sitting under the shade of an umbrella, and it almost feels like the humidity has gone up. It was 60% when I started. I wonder what the humidity is in Portland, or say where Clyde is. What's the humidity right there? It's probably dry, isn't it? You're inland, so it's probably hot and dry, kind of like an oven. You know, like the southeastern states, they get the humidity, and Oregon would probably be dry there. Not really, not to us. To you, it would be. Yeah, the humidity kills me here. It makes me very, very tired when I'm working. Low 80s today. There you go. It's probably here. I'm guessing right now it's about 75 degrees. That's what it feels like to me, about 75 degrees out here. And the long range forecast looks about the same, which is good because tomorrow's Friday and I get the weekend off. And, and then next Wednesday is Canada Day. So it's a holiday. It's a statutory holiday, Canada's birthday. But it's weird that it falls on a Wednesday. So I work Monday, Tuesday, get Wednesday off. It's a holiday for everybody in Canada, and then work Thursday, Friday. If it was my way, I'd change it to Monday or Friday. My great-grandparent was from Pennsylvania. Wow, cool. I remember you saying that. That's right, too. I remember you telling me that before. Your great-grandparents were from Pennsylvania. I wonder what part. I think Mike's near Reading, Pennsylvania. And Mike does grow palms. He's got needle palm and sable minor growing there. And he used to have a big trachycarpus. Natasha, we have tropical heat right now, 30 C. Whoa, you must be just a sweating. Hey, Natasha, whereabouts are you again? Were you in Florida? Right? You're in Florida, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that's what you said before. I think you said Florida. Now it's night, 18 C. Wow. It's very sunny here, and it gets dark out here after 10 o'clock at night. It's still light out at 10 o'clock here at night. Netherlands. Oh, yeah, right. Okay, I was thinking of somebody else. Sorry. That's right. You're in the Netherlands. Martin and Natasha. That's right. Yeah, you guys are 9 hours ahead of us. Oh, so it's still nice and warm there. Beautiful. So you guys are getting the heat. I know UK is too. A holiday is a holiday. Don't matter what day. That's right. I'll be happy just to have the day off. But I'd be happier if I had Thursday and Friday off too. I wish I was in Florida. I don't know. I've been to Florida before, and I don't think I like that heat down there. I really don't. I prefer Maui better. You'd like Maui better than Florida, trust me. And the topography's nice too. Yeah. Maui is a really nice place. And I hope everything opens up by the time I get to go there in November, because I'm really looking forward to going to Maui and being in Palm Paradise. You know what I mean? I get to Maui and I get my tropical palm fix, and of course my tropical weather fix too, and my tropical beach fix. Yes, we have nice beaches here, but it's nothing like Maui. The water's a lot colder up here, and there's no palm trees lining the beaches like Maui. Greetings from Martin. Aha, Martin, how you doing? Blast off, 88 tomorrow, 92, 90, 90, 88. Whoa, that's toasty warm in Pennsylvania, Keystone State. Yeah, you would like Maui. The thing is, I think Florida is too flat for me. It's just the topography on Maui is absolutely beautiful. It's mountainous like here. Maybe someday we'll move to Panama. Yeah, Panama is nice. I got a friend that has property in Panama. He's got about 5 or 10 acres there right on the beach. And it's absolutely beautiful. It's just jungle. He lives here on Salt Spring Island, but he does have a place in Panama. And you know where you could move, Natasha? You could move to Aruba. You know, that's the Dutch Antilles. Netherlands Antilles off the coast of Venezuela. You can easily move there. My friend here from the Netherlands, her sister and her husband moved from the Netherlands, from Amsterdam to Aruba. And Aruba is owned by the Netherlands, so you could actually move there with no problem at all. So that's what you should think about, Aruba, the Dutch Antilles. It is very tropical, and you can grow everything you want there. That's the problem with Canada. We don't own any tropical places. They should have thought about that when they were going to buy Turks and Caicos in 1979, but then they changed their mind. Silly people. Yeah, silly people. Let's just see. There's a sandstorm from Sahara coming here. What? Well, hopefully it doesn't come here. We've never had any sandstorms here on Salt Spring Island. I don't know. That's pretty bizarre, eh? I know they get big. We would like Panama more. Yeah. I heard Panama's quite nice. One of the girls I work with went there twice, and she said it was a very, very nice place to be. You have me worried about my butia. They're not that hardy. I'm telling you, Clyde, they are definitely not that hardy. There's, like I say, there's some big ones here, but they're in the higher end of Zone 9A. They're right on the ocean. I'm the low end of Zone 9A and can get into 8B once every 10 years or so. And once every 10 years, that's when my butia are toast, because I really don't like to protect butia. I probably should have, and they would have been huge by now, but I didn't, and the spears went on them. It was kind of a bummer because they were nice. They had big trunks on them, and that was before I got into YouTube, so I never shot any videos of them. I started making YouTube videos in 2008, right? And that's when they died in December. I got a YouTube channel in 2008. That's when I started it. And the only videos I ever uploaded on that back then were I shot in California. But yeah, I don't have any videos of my butia. I wish I would have shot some of the bigger butias I had that froze. Yeah, you got to protect it. I'm in 7B and 9B. Yeah, so on the coast, they're going to do okay. If you plant it on the Oregon coast, it'll be fine. Where you are inland, you better protect it. Put some Christmas lights around it or something. Even build a little shelter over it. The main thing is build a simple shelter over top with some 6 mil plastic. Throw a few Christmas lights around it on the coldest nights. Plug it in, and I think you'll be totally fine. Yeah, it used to take upload. It used to take hours to upload. It really did. Well, years ago, before this, when I was uploading stuff when we were dial-up, it would took eternity to upload. Now it's not bad. Wendy edits her videos, so she's really fast. She's got an editing system on her YouTube channel. It's really quick. They're hardier than cordless and australis. How long it used to take? Yeah, it did. What's cordyline? Cordyline australis is a Zone 9A plant. It is a long-term Zone 9A plant, Cordyline australis. You will never see cordylines growing in colder zones because they're only hardy to about 18 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's it. The one down the road for me at about 8.5 Ks south of here in front of the fire hall, it froze this last year. It's totally dead, man. It looks crispy. I shot a video of it. And the one at our parks office froze. And then you go down another mile to the ocean. All the cordylines are fine. They're blooming. Well, they're finished blooming now. Yeah, no, the cordylines are hardy in our property. We have lots of cordylines here. If the winter is mild again in Alberta, could a needle palm go without protect? But it'd have to be really mild. You know what I mean? If you got down to maybe minus 10 or 12 a few times through the winter, that would probably be fine for a needle palm. Yeah, I'd still protect it though. Snowbird Flock, I uploaded my latest gym. I got to check it out. Oh, speaking of gymnasts, okay, so I'm working in the park today, and there's this couple, and I'm working away, and they're doing these silly little backflips and stuff, and he's got his girl up on his legs, and he's doing presses with her and stuff like that. So I says, hey, you guys are pretty good. What are you, in Circus D'Olay or something like that? Can I shoot a video of you? She said, yeah. They said, sure. So I uploaded a video. You can see it. I just uploaded it when I got home from work. It's only about 25, 30 seconds long. And I gave them my card. I says, watch it. They were visiting from Alberta, but they were really good. So the whole time I'm working in there, I'm installing this garbage recycle bin container. And yeah, they were just amazing. Some of the stuff they were doing, very good shape, that's for sure. How are you? Nearly at 300 subs. Sweet. That's good, weather follower. It's going up. You got to like it. Snow, I uploaded my latest in 8 seconds. Holy crap, that's fast. What? I like my woman thicker than she was. Yeah, she's too small, eh? You like a little bit of meat on them. A healthy woman. Our garden fence is almost done, Natasha. We have sent some pictures of our tropical. Oh, cool. Sweet. We need a fence here. You know what happened the other day? I went out in the garden and I noticed a few bites taken out of the plants. And then I looked around the garden with Wendy and a lot of things were eaten. Deer got into our garden and ate a whole bunch of stuff. A corn fed healthy mama. That's what Clyde likes. Right on. Well, we have lots of those here. Right on. Yeah, she was very tiny, that girl, very petite. And that's the only reason he could flip her around on his legs, right? I mean, he's not going to be flipping no corn fed yummy mama up on his legs. He would have been crushed, right? So, yeah, this girl, I could probably do it too. I could probably flip that girl. And she was probably like $1.10 soaking wet. Nice. Gotta go. Gotta see it. Yeah, check it out. It's they were actually really good, and that was just some of the stuff they were doing. They were actually doing some pretty cool stuff. I thought it was pretty interesting. Joe, what zone is Langley and which palm you recommend? I'll write it down. Okay, so where I lived in Langley, you remember where I lived in Langley, that is zone 8A/8B. Okay, and I'm sure the last several winters, or quite a few winters, have probably been more like low end of zone 8B. Okay, so Chinese windmill palm. You want a windmill palm tree, and the Latin name is Trachycarpus fortunei. And you can see the videos I have of them here. And they're a good one for there. And I do see them in Langley. There's lots of them in White Rock. As you get near the ocean, you're going to see more of them. As you get farther out in the valley, it decreases the amount of palm trees you see because the winters are colder, right? I have a friend in Abbotsford that's got 2 big ones in his garden, and they planted them probably nearly 30 years ago. And he actually sent me seed and seedlings from those, and that's zone 8A. Very impressive. No deer, ha ha ha. We only have grass eating cats. Well, lucky you. We have a cat but eats mice, and we have a kitten too. But they do eat grass too. Yeah, we can send you some deer, Natasha. Definitely send you some deer. We have a lot of deer here. And, well, man, I see deer every single day of the year. There's so many deer on Salt Spring Island. So the sun is getting in my face. And I'll make sure I don't stay on here too much longer. This was supposed to be a really short Palmcast here, but it turned out to be a little bit anticipated. Can you see me there in the shade? There we go. How's that? Little bit better. Why do you push the fortunei so much? Not Nanoteel. I prefer the Nanoteel. Probably because Nanoteel is not common. I mean, I really don't like. I mean, I think we have a Nanoteel in our garden somewhere. There's one I planted, I think, in 1999. I should do a video of it. It was given